cross stitching runner and welcome to my channel. I want to say a big hello and welcome to all new and returning subscribers, and if by chance you've stumbled across this channel is all about cross stitch with a bit of life stuff thrown in, and this particular episode is filmed on Ngunnawal country, also known as Canberra, Australia. And today is Monday the 3rd of October. It's Monday, it's a public holiday, and technology has been fighting against me a little bit with this episode, so that's where things are just a little bit late, and also there's been a lot of life stuff happening, so it'll be a fairly quick episode when it comes to cross stitch stuff. So I'll start with the cross stitch stuff and then move on to the life stuff, so that way if you're not too worried about what is going on, then that's totally cool. So the first thing that I've been working on, it's only been really overnight that I've been doing a bit of work on this project, is the Black Needle Society's Autumn in Stars Hollow, and it's part of the Gilmore Girls Black Needle Society stitchy box that I participated in last year, and I've really been very slow with getting much work done on this project. And just before I started filming this episode, I have come to realise that I have royally stitched myself up. So this is my progress so far, and where we see a bit of the thread near the top of the project, where we see the words "I will follow," I found that I'm out by one stitch, so I haven't stitched enough stitches, and I could frog it, I could fudge it even. And I think I'm going to need to fudge it a little bit. I'm going to need to personalise it just a little bit more than what I already have, because with this particular pattern, it does use a combination of DMC thread and I guess some specialty threads to some extent, like the over dyes and those sorts of special threads. And this one does use a combination of Weeks Dye Works and I can't remember what GAST is short for, but they're again another special type of thread. And because this project has mostly DMC, I've decided to I guess customize it a bit, and I guess use some of my own threads in terms of whatever I do have in my collection for DMC threads that look fairly close to what the cover picture is. And I'm thinking that's probably what I'll do for where I've mucked up a little bit and embrace the personalization. Also, this particular project is being stitched on fabric that came with the Autumn in Stars Hollow stitchy box. So this is Fibre on a Whim. It's hand dyed 28 cashmere linen. It's a fat 1/8 piece, and I'm stitching this 2 DMC threads, or two threads over 2 fabric squares. And the actual name of this fabric is called Presenting Lorelei Gilmore, and it's going to be okay. It's just one of those annoying things that we have happen to us as stitchers, where we've been working away on a project and we then realise that we've mucked up, and then need to figure out how we want to go about it, how we want to either embrace that mistake or fix it if we can. So I'm no stranger to fudging things. I'm no stranger to misreading a pattern, miscounting things. I have no problems with being able to try and embrace my mistake, as long as it doesn't flow through to the rest of the project. So it'll be all right. The next project that I have to share with you, I've probably put about 200 stitches into it, but because this particular project is a fairly large one, 200 stitches is like a drop in the ocean. And this is a hot cross stitching design. It's called Blue Mountains Walking Trail, and this is one of my own designs. Hot cross stitching is my side hustle, and many of the projects that I do talk about with hot cross stitching are based on photos that I've taken and converted into cross stitch patterns that are available for purchase. So this is where I'm up to so far, and I'm stitching this all with DMC threads, and I'm using Pattern Keeper to follow the pattern, keep tracking of my stitches and that kind of thing. So I'm stitching this 1/1. I believe this is 25 or 28 count easy grid linen. It's easy guide fabric either way, and the pink squares that we see on here are 20 by 20, so one square equates to 200 stitches. And what I've been doing is just really trying to fill in a lot of the spaces, I guess, over here, just to try and make it easier with how I'm counting and tracking where I'm up to. So into the future, as I progress with this project, I'll be able to give you a bit more of a definitive number of stitches that I've counted. That said, I'm also reminded of some conversations I've been having with one of my subscribers. You'll see some of that conversation happening in the comments field, where I'm very much in agreement with what Rebecca's been saying about stitching for the enjoyment of stitching. And with the way life has been over the last couple of weeks, I really need to get back into stitching and stitching it for enjoyment, because life has been pretty stressful recently, but in a positive way. So the next project that I have to share with you is called Pink Bottlebrush Mini, and it's another hot cross stitching design. This particular cover picture actually shows you, I guess, like a mock-up of what the project will look like stitched up on black fabric. And this particular project I've been working on 14 count black Ada, and hopefully this will work out by having some things sitting behind it. Yeah, it's looking quite good like this. Okay, let's see. So this is where I'm at so far, and it is definitely one of those projects where the further you stand back, the more you can really see those colours pop and really see how the project is coming along. And I'm over the 60% mark for this project, and what I love with this one is, even though it is very confetti heavy, it's fully compatible with Pattern Keeper, and it has I think it's just over 9,000 stitches, and it's less than 10,000. So that's where it is very much a mini cross stitch project, and I've been focusing quite a lot on this area over here to try and fill it in. And it's one of those projects, because it's on such dark fabric, that I'll probably only stitch it when the light is good, or when I've got my over the head light or over the top light, to really show where the holes are and that kind of thing. And I've been really surprised by how this project is coming along on the 14 count Ada, because when I'd initially designed that pattern, I have recommended to stitch it on the 40 count even weave, so that way you could stitch it 2/2, so 2 threads over 2 fabric squares, so it would ultimately end up being I guess whatever the size might be on 20 count fabric. And it's coming along pretty good. I do like how that's turning up on the 14 count, and it's actually not that big. It's wonderful. I'm gushing. It's all good. So the last project that I have to share with you is Dewdrop Daisy, and this is also a hot cross stitching design. And this particular project, I'm about 55% way through. So what is happening here is I'm using DMC thread, and I'm stitching at 2/2, and I believe this is also 28 count linen. And this is where I'm up to so far, and I did iron it, but I've had it folded up a fair bit, but it's coming along really nicely. And this particular project has about 60,000 stitches in it. So I think to also put things into context, when we start talking about how big a project is and how many stitches it is, especially if it's not a heaven and earth design, because heaven and earth designs are just so popular within our stitching community, and I love heaven and earth designs. They are beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous projects. That many of those projects are quite big. Sure, they might have, say, 84 colours, depending, I guess on average 84 colours. But when you start going super size and maxi colours and all of that gorgeous, gorgeous stuff, you then start talking about projects that do have hundreds of thousands of stitches in it. And where we then come to realise that it is going to take us years, and like it's going to take a lifetime to stitch all those projects. And with the Blue Mountains walking trail, it does have over 200,000 stitches in it. So I do appreciate that even if I did have that project as the only project to work on, it's going to take me years to get it done. So that's why I love having the variety of so many different projects to work on, because it keeps that interest alive. It keeps that passion going to gradually see those projects coming together. So with those things in mind, I guess I'd have just a few little updates to do with hot cross stitching and the side hustle that is going on. I am slowly working on opening up an Etsy store, because I've been trying to fight off having an Etsy store for a few years now for different reasons, and I've decided to bite the bullet because that's pretty much where everyone is, and it's going to hopefully make my life just a little bit easier as far as marketing is concerned, because life always happens and marketing isn't always my strong suit. And that's where hopefully I guess having an Etsy store will make it worthwhile and make life a little bit easier. So at the moment the Etsy store is not open yet. I'm just letting you know that it's coming soon, so I'll keep you updated as much as I can with it, because I want to have as many patterns available on that site where I practically can, have it near identical to what I have on my main website. My main website will still be there, it'll still exist, and you'll be able to go to either location. The subtle difference I think between the Etsy store and hot cross stitching is that the Etsy store will eventually have physical patterns for sale, and I'll also start branching out a little bit and start selling my photos. So with hot cross stitching, the premise of it is to have cross stitch designs based upon the photos that I've taken over the years and will take into the future as well. And there are some photos where it annoys me too much to try and convert over to a cross stitch pattern, and there's only so much time and patience in a day or over a week that I have to be able to really get that cross stitch pattern working the way that I want it to, without it like if we printed it out, without it being like a mini novel as far as the pattern is concerned. So that's where I think sometimes if it's been a photo, it should stay as a photo to actually just really appreciate the image that it is. So we'll get there. There's a few more details and such that I need to sort out, and that's where I now leave you with the end of cross-stitch stuff. So if by chance you don't want to hear anything about life updates or anything like that, that's totally cool. If you do want more updates on what's happening with cross stitch and all the rest, make sure you click on the like button, subscribe, click on that bell notification, so that way you do receive any notifications that come up regarding this particular channel. So if you're going to leave, thank you, and I hope I really get to catch up with you again very soon. So if you're going to stick around, I did mention at the start of this episode that there's been a lot of life stuff happening since we caught up. So I guess since we caught up, there was the AFL grand final, and the team that my boyfriend and I support, they made it into the grand final. The unfortunate thing is that they lost abysmally. It was a very, very sad game to watch, where the opposing team they were playing against, they were just too good on the day. They had a lot more firepower. They wanted that win too much, or not too much, but enough to win the game. So yeah, it is what it is. Just wait for next year, see how we go. I am fighting hay fever at the moment, so my nose is starting to twitch just a little bit more, because hay fever, a lot of people get it. So I guess the main huge news is that I'm going to be moving up to Wollongong. I think in the last update I had mentioned that I think I was going to be having a job interview with the Wollongong City Council, and I was successful in getting that, and I am going to be finishing up in my current job on the 21st of October, starting the new job on the 31st of October, and within the last 4 days, we had confirmed that we successfully have a place to live up in Wollongong as well. We'll be renting for roughly 12 months or so, just to make sure that I guess I like the job likes me, that we like the area, and everything in between. It takes a huge weight off our shoulders knowing that we've got a place sorted out now, because I guess we're trying to think of contingency plans of what would happen if we still didn't have a place lined up before I started the job, and they were sort of like worst case scenarios, like that they'd still be workable, but not exactly ideal. But thankfully we don't have to worry about that anymore, and so Friday was a really great day to celebrate for my boyfriend and I, because it means that we don't have to stress anymore about finding somewhere to live. We now have the stresses of figuring out what furniture we can take with us to this new place. We started doing measuring of furniture and that kind of thing, of stuff we want to take with us and that we need to take with us. So on this coming Thursday, we'll be able to pick up the keys for the rental, and we'll be able to actually see it in person, because unfortunately with the way our schedules were working, it was impractical for us to head up and look at the property we have been successful in getting. So that's going to be pretty cool and exciting, because we'll be able to then start to properly visualize where we can put certain things. And the other thing that we really love about this property and feel very blessed and lucky with is that it is along the same street that I'll be working on. So I think the longest part of my commute will probably be going in the lift from our unit down to the ground floor, because we're up on roughly the 12th floor of the building complex, and then I'll just walk maybe 200 meters, if that, down the road to where my office will be. So that's going to be very nice to not have to worry about driving for about 30 minutes, which is a commute that I currently do if I need to be in the office. And the other wonderful thing with the location that we'll be in is, I think, so in the opposite direction, so heading east, maybe 300 to 500 meters maximum, we'll get to the beach in walking distance. I think this particular unit faces northeast, so on certain parts of the balcony we will have a little bit of a water view or an ocean view, and then I guess south of us will be some of the other suburbs that make up Wollongong. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be initially stressful, but what I'm looking forward to as well is getting things set up. Like once we've gotten the bulk of our stuff that we need up there, getting it organized. That is that interior design stuff that I'm really looking forward to, and it's something that I was just double checking things are getting recorded, and it's all good. So yeah, it's all been happening. So that's part of why I haven't been able to share as many projects with you this fortnight. And I guess the next time I do get to catch up with everyone here, it may be about a month, maybe a month and a half, because of how crazy and how busy things are going to be as part of this move. And hey, it is what it is. It might also be that it'll probably be good to take a slight break from Flosstube, so that way I can hopefully eventually get a bit more stitching done, and I can settle in and just chill, just enjoy the process, enjoy the journey, because it's going to be stressful for both of us, but I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be a really positive adventure, because the aim of going on this move was to have that lifestyle change, because we have always enjoyed heading down to the coast over the years, down to the south coast of the Batemans Bay, Malure Bay area of Australia, and yeah, this will be something just a bit different, because we don't know anyone up there. With the different people that we have spoken to, who know other people who have gone up to Wollongong, they've all raved about it in a very positive way. They've all said that the people they know, they love the lifestyle. The winters are quite mild compared to Canberra. Mild in the sense that with Canberra, our winters, we get minus temperatures. I think the lowest we've had in temperature has been about minus 10, but it's been a long time since it's been minus 10 temperatures. Canberra has been known to get some snow, but not settle too deeply, so it might only be half a centimetre or so in thickness. But we do have some mountain ranges called the Brindabellas that are, I guess, to the west or southwest area of Canberra, and snow does regularly fall on the Brindabellas, and when the winds come off the Brindabellas, we really know about it. It gets really cold. And so to put that into context compared with Wollongong, I've not known Wollongong to get snow because it's a coastal city. They will still get some cold temperatures and that kind of thing during winter, but their minimum temperatures might be still in the double figures, like 10 degrees Celsius rather than 1 degree or 5 degrees or something like that. So that's where it's going to be just really nice just to have that change. And Wollongong is, I guess, just under 3 hours drive north of Canberra, so we'll still be able to come down and see family and friends. November's going to be a crazy month for us because I've got a fun run coming up on the 6th of November. Then a couple of weeks later it'll be, or actually even roughly less than that, mid-November will be my boyfriend's birthday. End of November it'll be his dad's birthday, and somewhere in between then my boyfriend's sister is coming over for a short trip from America. So that's the month of November is just going to be nuts. Then we'll have a slight reprieve. Then it'll be Christmas, New Year's, holidays. We can chill for a little bit. Then I guess even January we can relax a little bit as well. Enjoy summer. Then February it'll be nuts because there's at least four birthdays happening in February. It's going to be busy. It's going to be nuts, but it's going to be worth it. It'll be all right. We're getting into a nice, the nice weather in Australia. So we're in springtime right now, and when I mentioned before about my nose being just a little bit twitchy and sniffly and that kind of thing, as part of getting ready for the move and all the rest, I'm trying to get my gardens in order a little bit and neaten them up a bit. And so I've done like a little bit of pruning and gardening and that kind of thing. And I've got some jasmine that's probably just off screen, sort of, I guess that's where my hands are pointing that way. I've got about 3, maybe 4 jasmine plants that I've had growing there for 12 years, and in the springtime it's this beautiful intense jasmine smell. The unfortunate thing is that it does set my allergies off a little bit. It's just about to flower. Not the best time to prune the jasmine, but it might hopefully reduce some of the hay fever intensity that I'll have, and it'll hopefully mean that our next door neighbour, it won't aggravate her allergies too much either. So fingers crossed, all goes well, and I guess that's the end of this particular episode. So I hope that you all stay safe and well. I know that the weather patterns in Florida in America is being very unkind at the moment. So I hope that people there can stay as safe as they practically can, because here in Australia we haven't had the severities of what hurricanes can bring. But we have had some areas in Australia that have had significant floods, where some areas have had 6 floods in 6 months, because the amount of rain that we've been getting. So everyone stay safe. I hope that you can get a bit of stitching in and relax as much as you can and be safe and sound, and we'll hopefully see you again soon, maybe within a couple of months maximum, but hopefully it's not that long. Until then, happy stitching.